Hi, I'm Ronnie from Ronnie's Garage, and we're holding our monthly tech meet at my garage, and today we'll be bleeding the brakes on a mineral oil car. Okay, this is a mineral oil car. Like I said, 79, the Corniche, and I think the Camargue came out with the mineral oil, and then in 1980 all the sedans had it also. As you can see, this has a totally different looking reservoir system. Do not use RR363 in what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 languages. Okay? Don't use that. Always use, this is the LHM fluid. It's green. There's a theme. Here's what you can use now. This is LHM Plus. It's made by TRW. It doesn't come in the small bottles anymore, but it's green. Just think, green. The one thing that's important on these, let me go grab one of the old bottles. So this is the original bottling on this. It's made by Castrol. And you see it's got this cute little hose on here. This was standard issue. Most of the mineral oil cars, they have either near the battery or in the trunk someplace a storage area, and they gave you 2 bottles normally because they didn't want you using the wrong fluid. I guess they got in hot water over that. Now you wonder, this original bottle, I'm not going to open this one because this is precious. This new stuff, obviously that little cap doesn't fit on the new bottles. So fortunately, you can buy these. I got these from Flying Spares, so that it'll fit on there. Open this up, and the idea is, and they make them nice foil sealed in here, is, as I was describing earlier, the original ones had these big round caps on here, and you could just pop the cap, and it had a big hot opening. You could pour any fluid in. So what they did is they changed them, and they put these bolted on caps that have, normally they have a little plastic plug on here, but this right here is designed to, oh, somebody's got a plug in there. The wrong thing, it's broken off. Really? Yeah. Somebody doesn't want you to put brake fluid in here. Or mineral oil, I should say. I gotta stop calling it brake fluid. Here, this side it fits. So, this is designed to push in and then turn and lock. Okay? So just imagine your bottle on here and you're squeezing it. This is great because you can't, I mean, you could put brake fluid in here now if you wanted to, but it's an effort. The only problem is when you're squeezing that fluid in there, is there's a screen in there. It's a little cup, looks about the size of a shot glass, and it's got a screen, and if you squeeze too much in there, it just comes out and dribbles all over here. Makes a mess. So you have to be patient when you're filling these. I'm gonna have to get this out. There it is. It's gone. Did I get you? Sorry. Didn't hurt, right? No. Okay. Sorry about that. And as you can see, this has a slot on here. I guess that's to help it drain in there easier, and not. Now we can put this in, whereas before we couldn't. Now the hard part on these, did I lose my flash? Is seeing the fluid level usually. Now later cars, this is an 88, I think. In the 90s, they, maybe 89 also, they had a little float out here. We can take a look at another car out there. But it's got a little float in there with a clear cap, and you fill it until you see the green float come up. Once again, it's green. Mineral oil systems have green labels on everything. That's a good way to remember not to put the wrong stuff in. But to see the levels on this older car, you got to stick a flashlight up to the side. You guys can see the level now, right? See the level of the fluid in there? Now this one has a little, this doesn't even have a legend on it. This one has a legend way over here where you can't see it. I think it's really a poor design. But there is this one, if you look over here, if you want to come over here, you can see down below there's that black plate that has a hole in the center, and you can see min right there. That's the minimum level. Now, once again, it's the high pressure system, so the car has to be running when you set the fluid levels. It has to run for a while. This system is a little more, the Silver Shadow, it had the high pressure braking systems, plus it had a leveling system that ran off that brake fluid. This does the same somewhat. What they did is they integrated some accumulators, which they call gas springs, on top of the struts on this car in the rear. So not only does it self-level, but the hydraulic system is what controls the rear shocks.
Are those the spheres?
Mm-hmm. Well, they're called gas springs on these, but they are spheres. They're just a lower pressure than the brake spheres, which are about, I think, 1,000 pounds, and the gas springs are about 300.
How durable are those spheres? Are they last?
Well, they're a maintenance item.
Okay.
So you have to replace them every few years, depending on how much it's driven and whatever. And they are not rebuildable; they are just throwaways. So you unscrew them, put a new O-ring on, and screw a new one on. They're charged and welded at wherever they're manufactured. Other than that, the system's very similar to the Silver Shadow. Bleeding process is the same. It still has that same G valve, where if you, on the upper bleeders at the back, when you open that and you hear that thump and it stops pushing fluid, then you've got to set the car down, turn it off, take your brake pedals, stand off, pump the brakes with the key on, so the warning lights work until both lights come on, and you hear that little thump. So we'll go ahead and bleed this one. So let's run it a bit, make sure our levels are high enough. Stand is not holding. Okay, so as you can see in there, settles down, hands on it. The brake lights will be on. That's a good indicator. So now we'll put her up in the air. Let's check our fluid level. Good there. Plenty there. I'm going to go empty this brake fluid. You don't want them to mix up together by any chance of it sucking back in. Fortunately, on a high pressure system, it's only coming out all the time. You're not going to be able to suck it in, but I'm still going to empty this. Okay. Same deal. Go to the left rear wheel. Now this is where it gets fun. There we go. All right. The upper bleeders, well, number one also. Same spot. Now, since this is a mineral oil car, you see something different on this car. It's got this strut. This is a piston assembly that does your rear shocking work with that sphere on the top. They like to leak. It's part of the hydraulic system, so it's always important to make sure when you work on the brakes, you want to fix all the brake leaks. Unfortunately, it gets expensive. Both of these are bone dry. It's a good thing. So, same drill. You just crack your bleeder. And this car will not have much air. It's just been serviced. During normal service, annual maintenance, we bleed the brakes. See how it started getting foamy there? That's normal. It's the big bubbles you're looking out for. So that's the number one system. Number two, they put the bleeder here because it's behind this structure that holds that rear strut. So that's down here. On the early cars, the bleeder's way up in here, so you got to stick the hose through here with a pair of pliers and put it on there to get to it. There you go. Pretty good. You hear that whining noise? That's the fuel pump right up here. Let's go over on this side. We'll go to the number one again, top one. Now we got a little, see that wheel move? That means that I released enough pressure that the brakes released. That wasn't the G valve, by the way, because it still had fluid coming. There we go. Now see, we haven't, well, we better check it. I usually do the back wheels, check the fluid, and then do the front wheels. So on this car, oh, it's not visible. I think like 89, 90, they put the G valve out here where you can see it. Unfortunately, it's in the rat trap on this. I can't show it to you. All right.